In this video, you're going to learn how to convert between moles and particles. 1 mole is equal to 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd particles. A mole is a number, just like dozen means 12, mole means 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. Now this is a huge number, so we only use it really to count particles. Particles can be atoms, molecules, ions, or formula units. Those are all examples of particles. So if you have 1 mole of atoms, you have 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. If you have 1 mole of molecules, you have 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules. So when you approach a problem, the first thing you need to do is annotate. You need to figure out what are we given and what are we trying to find. So this question says, how many atoms are in 0.874 moles of aluminum? So how many atoms, so atoms is our unknown, are in 0.874 moles of aluminum? That is our given. So we're going from moles, we need to convert from moles into atoms. Now I know that 1 mole is equal to 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. So I start with my given, 0.874 moles, and I will convert it into atoms. Now I need to get rid of moles, so moles will go on bottom because a mole divided by a mole equals 1. So my mole units cancel out, and I am trying to convert it into atoms, so atoms goes on top. From our conversion factor, I know that the number 1 goes with mole, and the number 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd goes with particles. So I will put a 1 next to mole, and 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd next to atoms. And I want you to notice atoms is left over, so that's the unit that I end up with, which is good because that was my unknown. So I plug this into my calculator, and I get my answer. And I want you to notice 5.27 times 10 to the 23rd is less than 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. And 0.874 is less than 1. So this answer makes sense because if I have 0.874 moles, I have less than 1 mole, so I would have less than 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. Let's try another one. How many moles is 4.82 times 10 to the 24th atoms of zinc? So now the question is how many moles, that's my unknown, and I'm given atoms. So I'm going from atoms to moles. So this is the opposite. Now I want to get rid of atoms, and moles is my unknown. So I start with my atoms, and I need to convert it into moles. So I'm trying to get rid of my unit atoms, so that will go on the bottom, so that way atoms cancels out, and I am converting it into moles. So mole will go on top. I look back at my conversion factor, and I know that 1 mole equals 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. So I will have 1 mole equals 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. So now instead of multiplying by 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd, that number is in the denominator, so I'm going to divide by that number. And this time I'm left with the unit mole, and so I have mole zinc as my answer. Also notice that our initial number is bigger than 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. This is to the 24th, so this is almost 10 times bigger. And so it makes sense that I have more than 1 mole of zinc.